ですよね。確かにそっちも面白い。いろんな店もあるけど、人が多すぎて。
多すぎるから、いや、多分。
待ってる時間がね。では見ないというか、東京だから。
everybody's doing well. 1 second, I'm going to make an adjustment. See if I can make that just a smidge louder. So I want to be, just in advance, if things sound different, I am using a different microphone. I am using a shotgun microphone because I thought maybe it would be a little easier for me to see everything. The microphone that I use normally is a nice microphone, but it's a very big, bulky microphone, and it kind of blocks my ability to see what's going on sometimes. So I thought maybe if I try a shotgun mic, it would block less of my field of view and my eyes can see around it a lot easier. So I hope it sounds good. I'll double check, obviously, and see if it does sound okay. And if it doesn't sound, if it's not too obtrusive, I might use it instead. Just because it does make it easier to see around. Ash, hey man, good to see you streaming. I appreciate it. I took a bit of a break. We took the first bit of our break was the Thanksgiving, or the first bit of our break was changes at my job, at my work, and that's been very challenging to navigate. And then the second part was obviously the holiday. The intent was the holiday. So, that was kind of the idea. It's nice to get to stream again. It's nice to have some sort of routine. I can tell you this last week especially has just been go. I'm working from 6 in the morning until I'm not even leaving my last thing until 8:30 at night. I'm not getting home till 9:30. So very tired. Always good to have a break. Yeah, I think so. I think it's nice. I mean, it's really nice. I enjoy it. It's nice to get to play games again though. During the break, Ivy got me the Persona 3 Reload game. We saw on a spectacular sale. And she got me that, and I'm excited to get to play it soon. I love Persona 4 Golden. I like the original Persona 3 a lot, and then they did this Reload version. I'm like, I love Atlas though. So one of those companies that does very, very little wrong in my eyes is Atlas. I think the only game that they've had anything to do with that I was not keen on was Game of Thrones, which I think they were only the publisher of, but even still, I think that's the only one that they've done that I was like, that's not great. But the things that have been going on with specifically work, and the things that have been going on with the intertwining of the work relationship with normal life, have led me to wonder about trust recently. I'm not going to go into detail on who my company is or what all the specifics are, or anything like that. I'm not interested in doing that because I could be the one that's wrong. I could be the one who's not looking at it the right way, and I could be the one who is needing to make changes. So, but I think what's happened recently is there have been a series of events that have happened, both obvious and overt, and also some that are more subtle that I'm potentially extrapolating information that may or may not exist, based upon attempted deduction, let's call it, for lack of a better term. And it really I think when there's a thing that happens a lot when I start to talk about this kind of stuff. It doesn't happen here very much, but it does happen elsewhere, where I'll have something happen, something that I guess people think to be just a part of life, Just another thing that happens to everybody at least once in life or more, you know. And I'll think about it, and I'll try to think about it more and more and more deeply. And I think the kind of common response to that, for me at least, has been, quote unquote, it ain't that deep. And I've thought about that. Maybe I do think too deeply upon certain things, certain things. But also, is it also possible, I should say, that the person who would say that is just thinking too shallowly? And the topic for me that I have been thinking more deeply on these past 3 or 4 weeks has been the topic of trust. Completely different situation, but I had a moment a few years back with the same own things in my life, or with some own things in my life. That's why I'm much more closed off now. Online especially, I trust very few people. That's fair. And that's kind of what I was going to ask. Trust is not something I think should be given away freely. I agree that trust is... this is going to go back into philosophy because almost everything does, because I believe philosophy is an art that we don't really give the focus that we should to individually, not just cumulative philosophies that we adopt, but also philosophies and the ability or willingness to go out and philosophize or have our own spins or own takes. They won't likely be unique. The human race has existed and been able to articulate themselves for some time, but it's also a bit like saying a sword has existed forever and therefore it can never become sharper. You know, and it's like, there may be a point of diminishing returns, but I think in this case, we move forward technologically so fast, and we've decided that because we are burdened with convenience, that we are ourselves comfortable becoming more and more useless. There's also this privilege, and I use this word carefully. I'll say what I've said multiple times. There's a reason I speak to just a handful of people, especially. That's perfectly... I think it's a perfectly fair assessment. By the way, if the plosives are too... Because I'm saying... If the plosives are too bad, do let me know. The mic technique for this is a little different. I do have a pop filter, or not a pop filter. I actually have a windscreen on it, which should help dissipate those, but please do let me know if the P sounds are too prevalent. Again, I'm using a different microphone. I've not used a shotgun mic. I've not used this shotgun mic before. I thought it might be cool. In my ears, it sounds okay. But please do let me know. As a matter of fact, I see the noise floor for just a second. Okay, it looks like the noise floor is quiet, so we're good, I think. We've become so burdened with privilege that we believe we're owed things. And likewise, I think that has gone into the point, I think it's moved to the point of believing that because some people have agreed to some things, that there is no ability to give them more than exactly what is dictated. And this, again, I'm not going to say specifics, but I am going to say this bleeds into the mentality that I believe that I've been given by my company most recently, which I find to be, which I'm not very happy with. So the questions that I'm going to pose to the gallery are, firstly, what effects do you believe that you observe either in your life, your family, your work, or perhaps even just in general as you live, as you exist, as you see other people, that you believe the burdens of convenience have impacted them in negative fashion, or maybe impacted us in negative fashion? The second thing I will ask is, what do you believe we are, and I mean we cumulatively as people, are owed? And what is it that you believe that we are given? And the last one, tertiarily I suppose, is what does it require if you believe trust is to be earned? What are the requisites to earn trust? And if you believe trust is afforded, what are the requisites to lose it? those are the ones that I've been thinking very, very deeply on these times. You're spot on about privilege nowadays. It's a personal belief. If anyone has ever watched this, if you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. I know a lot of people were unhappy about it for one reason or another. I don't, is it my favorite iteration? No, but the BBC had this Dracula show, episodic, from the writers and creators of the Sherlock series, which was very popular for a number of years. And they put it out on Netflix, and I've purchased the DVD. I've purchased the DVDs of them. I've left them with my in-laws so that they might watch them. They're 3 episodes, hour and a half long each, roughly. The first one kind of follows the book with a little couple of twists here and there, but it follows the main story. The second one follows the main story of the Demeter, but the third one is kind of off the rails. It's about bringing this character to the future, or to the present, I guess, at this point. And I'm not going to spoil a ton, but I will spoil just a little bit. So if you're interested in this, I would, click maybe a minute in the future here, or mute the stream for about 45 seconds. But he is in the future. He's in someone's house, or he's in the future to him, the present to now, and he's in somebody's house, and he sees it, and he exclaims, he knows of no king or ruler or a person of wealth who would come into the home. And it was a small home with a bunch of miscellany, basically, a common home for a lot of people in some instances. And he's just marveling over what all they have. And of course she says it's a dump, and he says, I know of no king. I have known kings and rulers, and I know of no king who would come here and would ever dare leave. And then he goes forward after she's said it's a dump, and she's kind of said, all this stuff that he's just marveled at is nothing. And he says something. It's played by Claes Bang, who does a brilliant job, Welsh actor. And he says, I knew the future would bring. I think it's. I'm going to paraphrase. I thought it was the quote. I think I knew the future would hold such treasures. I had no idea it would make them ordinary. I think that's such a brilliant line, and he delivers it famously too. I mean, just in the best way. To me, that particular segment is that little snippet, which lasts no more than a minute or two, is a perfect summary of how much we have lost in understanding and to be thankful, and in how much quote unquote privilege that we have garnered as people, not individually. I'm not talking about having privilege because you were born a specific color, you happen to be of a specific sexual persuasion, or you happen to be of a specific spoilers, man. I was about to sit down and watch. Oh, I heavily recommend you do. And I've spoiled that small snippet, and I apologize for that. But surely, if you are a fan of horror, I think you would actually quite enjoy it. It is really, I do really recommend it. I really did like it. I watched a little bit of Sherlock, and Sherlock was okay. But I would say that I like the Dracula one perhaps even more so. Even though it definitely deviates from the novel quite a lot. And Dracula is one of my favorite novels of all time. I would say that it absolutely is worth a watch. And again, it's 3 episodes, about an hour and a half each, I think. So we're talking about 4.5 hours of total content there, and it's good content. I'm just joking, but I do want to watch it. Oh, you should. You absolutely should. It's so good. Yeah, I bought the DVD. Again, I'm all about owning physical media. I think people might notice I got my little GOG sword badge on Discord. It's like, yay, that's cool. And they gave me a little, not the same people, but Discord gave me a little cassette tape because I'm retro, I guess. I don't know. But I got a little animated 8-bit or 16-bit cassette tape. I thought that was kind of cute. So he's there now. I don't know what he does, but he's there. So I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, if you do have a subscription that you can access it, it's easier for you. I still recommend it, even if you don't have like a physical media. I heavily recommend that. It's really worth the watch. But I think that's kind of What's a GOG sword? It's on Discord. I don't know what it's... Are you now a sponsor? Pay the... No, I'm not a sponsor. I don't get paid or anything like that. But I have on the little pay of CD Projekt, pay me. No. No, I have a little GOG sword thing on my Discord. When I type, it says GOG and it has a little sword, and it's like, oh yay. No, I love the cause. Say what you will of the company, but I love the cause, and so it was really cool to have the little thing saying yay. I thought it was cool. Showing hopefully my dedication to owning your I get paid, don't tell you. They all come in right now. Hey, Vinny's like, what's going on? He's gonna ask would I like some toast, but he's gonna get interrupted and be like, wait a minute, no, I need to get paid. Yeah, it's just a little, it's cool. It's a little, it means nothing in terms of, I don't care about the accolade or whatever, but I think it's a really cool, I have a little thing saying, hey, he supports the cause of owning your media. And I'm like, yay. So I was happy about it. It's really cool. It's, like I said, I'm about owning your media. It doesn't just have to be through GOG. I'm about, buying your DVDs and your VHSs. If you still use VHS, I have a VHS player in this room. I have a VHS DVD combo in this room because I still will watch a VHS tape too. I absolutely will. So, I know that seems old and antiquated, but my goodness, I love it. There's something so charming about VHSs. I know they're not as efficient, but my goodness. But the question of trust is, I'll give the circumstance. I'll give you a circumstance. You have a contract with me. We'll use the example of this. We'll use the example of a paid mod. We'll use that as a proxy. How does that sound? You have a contract with me, and the contract has all of the fine print that says you're going to do this, this, and this. And let's assume for the sake of argument, I feel like we need a contract to protect us both. And so I say, okay, Ash, I'm going to make a contract with you. I'm going to pay you this amount for this long at this rate. And if it's okay with you, you're going to furnish me these services. And we both look, and it's just, and we both look at the contract and we say, okay, this is probably pretty fair. Okay. The first year, no big deal. Second year, it works out really well. I added a couple of dollars per X, per month, per week, per annum, whatever. And you add a couple of tasks. I'm going to give you more money. You're going to do more tasks. Okay, still works out pretty well. Third year, more tasks, more money, and now we're starting to see some kind of hiccups where the tasks might be kind of overlapping or even at cross purposes with each other. Okay. Now this year, it's the same thing, more tasks, more money, but now we absolutely can see that there are some conflicts of interest in the tasks being assigned, and that they have conflicting interests, obviously, and as I said, so. And then the last year we have it, and the conflicting interests are evident. They're so evident, in fact, that after we fulfilled that, as the contract dictates, you failed. You did not accomplish everything in the contract that was there. And now I'm upset at you. And you point out the conflicts. And I say, don't tell me what you can't do, tell me what you can do. And you say, well, I can do what I did, but I can't, these two things are actually at cross purpose. These other two things are also at cross purpose. These other two things are at cross purpose. And I say, okay, but you got to get them done anyway. Don't tell me how you can't do it. Tell me how you will make it happen. Right? Eventually, you say, well, here's the give and the take that I'm going to ask for. You come up with a solution, which, by the way, I don't believe is necessarily your responsibility. I want to be very clear. I don't believe, I've given this analogy before, I don't believe that a person who points out a problem is also the person that must come up with the solution. I think that there's utility in those people being different also. An adult points to a building that they see that's on fire and call the fire department. The fire department's job is to go and take care of that fire, even though the person that may be capable is capable of doing that, right? So there's utility in the person who pointed out and called the fire brigade, but there's also a utility in the fire brigade who didn't know it until they were told, but then solved the problem. But you come up with a compromise. You say, well, look, if you'll do this, if you'll give me this, this, and this as a resource, I'll do this, this, and this, and we can meet kind of in the middle. Should I give you those considerations? My opinion is, unless they are ridiculous and unreasonable, which of course I've already been, so there's not much that I can say on that. The answer is, yeah, I should give you those considerations. I'm actually starting to be put off by Blu-ray, especially with older movies. Newer ones are fine, but the older ones sometimes lose that feel that they had due to so many Yeah, everything's just way too enhanced. I agree with it. I like the film grain on some of the stuff, you know? It's the same way that if you have an option to play a game that's a retro game, like a Sonic the Hedgehog remaster collection or whatever, I'm going to put scan lines on the thing. I know that it's not as good as playing it on an actual CRT, and I do have a CRT here that I do play Sonic the Hedgehog on, but if it's going to be an emulated version through like Switch or something, I'm going to put scan lines on the thing. It's just how I want to do it. Our contract for my mod job was simple. Come in every stream for at least 1 hour, attempt to be funny, stay handsome, stay hung, leave. Stay handsome, stay hung. That's what... Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to... That's going to be a life's motto now, right now. Stay handsome, stay hung. I love that. Oh, man. Your job situation sounds like such a nuisance right now, and I'm sure that's... Well, I think it is too, and I've had these problems in these conversations, but at the same time, I'm always willing to be... And this is the thing that I say, and I've told all of my cohorts and workers and bosses even, I don't play political games. I don't play office politics. I don't care if you like me or you don't like me. I'm not going to try and go out of my way to be disliked, obviously, but I'm also not going to go out of my way to make you like me. If there's a problem, I'm going to tell you what the problem is, and then you can help me solve the problem, or you can show me why I'm wrong and it's not a problem. I'm okay with both of those. Or you can take the problem that I've suggested is a problem, and you can go and help me solve it, or you can solve it, and I can, whatever needs to be done. I've always told the people at my work, I'm happy to be proved wrong. I'm happy. I don't mind you showing me that I'm incorrect and then helping to correct me. Because the minute I get to the point of where I feel like I'm completely right, I can't be corrected, is the minute that I stop learning. It's the minute that I fall prey to likely Dunning-Kruger and things far worse. But I also believe that there are give and takes that can be made. I think that we can do things for people. What we do impacts a client. And that client understands the nature of the business, and there's some level of stringency there, obviously. But also, there should be a level of flexibility. There should be we should be comfortable being people, even though we are a professional organization, and I'm a professional representative of an organization, and I represent certain interests, and I represent certain things. I'm also a liaison for a conversation that will happen between people who may or may not be clients, who all are prospective clients. And I think that understanding of representation, not strictly as a brand, but as a person who represents a brand, and to liaise conversations in kind, to basically reinsert some level of humanity into something that otherwise is fairly surgical, is remarkably important, especially in where I am, in the South. The South we are known for Southern hospitality. That's what it's called. That's why it's called that. You walk to somebody's door in most cases around this area and say, I'm hurt, I need some place to stay and some medicine, would you be so kind as to help me? you would be harder pressed to find somebody who wouldn't help you than somebody who would. People would, oh my gosh, you look beat up. I'm so sorry. Let me get you some medicine. Let me get you something to drink. Have you eaten it? That's a pretty commonplace thing. But it seems like a lot of the hospitalities are being pulled out of it in favor of these stringent, black and white, no flexibility. And again, I also understand that there's money involved. And I think when money is involved, you have people that are so interested in representing their not losing anything from the pocketbook. And I think that becomes problematic also, because you have you're at cross purpose again. Do I take care of the person, or do I take care of the wallet? And I think the problem that in a lot of cases is happening is, and I think this is a lot of companies. I'm not going to put just onus on mine. I think this is happening to a lot of companies. We're seeing it in the gaming world, is that the protection of the profits and the protection, which I get, profits have to be made, but the protection of the profits and the protection of the people are mutually exclusive. And it can't be mutually exclusive. The minute that your pocketbook, as a business, this is my personal opinion, the minute your pocketbook and your people are at odds, is the minute you lose one of them. You either fall, you either take care of all of your people with no concern to your pocketbook and you don't make anything, which I think if you have to do one or the other, that's probably the nicer one. The other way is you've got to make money. You make money, but you throw what people need and want to the wayside, and you run the risk of losing sustainability in that business model or in any model. I'm going to do this. People may or may not like it. I don't care. And then all of a sudden, boom, you no longer have clientele the next year or 5 years later. So those are some things that I'm kind of curious as to. So I guess let me go ahead and pose the main question again, which is the question of trust. Are we owed trust? Or is it something that we are afforded politely? If we are not owed trust, what requirements are there to earn it? Or what would you consider to be reasonable requirements to earn it? And if it is something we are owed, what are reasonable requirements to lose it? That's what I'm curious as to. I personally wish very much that we would not I wish we wouldn't be the way I wish we wouldn't be the way we are right now. And again, I don't think that this is exclusive. I don't think it's exclusive at all to my company or my business. I think it's something that's happening to people on the whole. I think people on the whole are believing that they are owed more than they are, or believing that they cannot afford to give what they are, or whatever I don't know. I wrote a letter, because again, I'm old-fashioned, very much so. I wrote a letter to other people that I trust, and people that have earned my trust, and I wrote a letter called, it was titled "The Edge of Intellect," and basically asked them what their opinions were, and I got a bevy of opinions, which I was appreciative of, but I don't know. It just feels very. The world feels very weird right now, and it's in a way I don't like. It's in something that I there are these false dichotomies that are popping up everywhere. There are these, and it's such a frustrating thing, I think. People definitely believe they are owed more than they are. It's apparent nowadays than ever. Trust is earned, not given freely. So then what? I agree with that. See, I don't think it's an unreasonable thing to say I don't automatically have to trust you. I don't think that. I think there are people that get offended when you say that. And I think that's too bad. Personally, I think that's too bad. But I don't know. I just, one of the things that I think I would give, that I will or would give freely, and it's not necessarily something everybody's owed, but it's something I think that I would give freely, is courtesy. I think it's appropriate to give courtesy freely because I think that that's kind of an act of good faith passed on. And I think that act of good faith inspires reciprocity. Why are they offended? Because it's cyclical logic, because they feel like they are owed. You don't trust me? Haven't I done, haven't I existed? Don't I exist? And it's like, no, that's not enough. But it is, when you say I don't trust, there is an offense. Like, what have I done to deserve your mistrust? And it's like, you didn't do anything. That's the problem. You have to do something to earn my trust. You don't get to just do something and say, oh, this is I mistrust you. You don't, if you do something that's absolutely going to break my trust, then I'm going to, if you do something that you're actually traitorous, then obviously there's something I can cite. But if you're not doing something that I can cite, you still don't automatically get it. Are these that's a good question. I think the answer is probably no. But I think that it's kind of like the appearance of altruism. And we've talked about that before, where I think that altruism is a good thing if it's purposeful. One of the things I really do like that our company does is we did it yesterday, is we get together and we do basically a charity day where we take care of people. And we're allowed to participate in that however we want to participate in that. My favorite way to participate in that is Toys for Tots. I like the idea of maybe being able to give households that can't afford gifts to, I like the idea of households that have kids that can't maybe afford gifts. I like the idea of the kids not waking up to nothing and being able to have fun. And so I go out and I buy a lot of toys for kids, toys that I would have liked as a kid, toys that my daughter liked when she was even younger, and toys that she would like, things that she would even like now. And I donate a lot of those. I partnered with a good friend of mine here, a longtime friend of mine here, and I, donated. But again, it's the purpose, right? It's altruism, not because I want to be recognized for it. That's not important. But altruism because I want to help people that didn't have maybe an opportunity, right? To have something like that happen. But again, the reasons are different, right? And I'm not saying my company does it this way. I think my company is actually doing something good. But if the reason you're doing something is to get the recognition for it, then you might as well just not do it. Yes, some good may come of it, but then also there's a bad that comes from it that might outweigh that good, specific to you. When it comes to the trust piece of it, it's the same way. It's like, I'm doing this because I'm an open person. I'm a good person, quote unquote. And it's missing the point of that trust actually serves a purpose. There's actually something that it does. It fulfills. So, sings to the tune of Adventures of Lano and Woodley. I've got a feeling, a bit of an inkling, this is going to be... This is a stream all about retro, and the chat. all the things he does, and all the things he sees, and also what we see. I've got a bit of a feeling, a bit of an inkling, as long as we're live chatting with 3Gs. Wow, good reception. It'll be okay. And then, and then the music. Very nice. Very nice. Welcome in, Viddy. It's always good to see you in good spirits, or at least in, hopefully, better spirits. I think last one we got to speak was a couple of weeks ago, and you were, you seemed like you might be had been a little down. I'm hoping that's, I'm hoping that you're in good spirits today. It looks like it, and I hope so for certain. But yeah, I think that, again, my original philosophy was do everything non-arbitrarily, right? That's always been my philosophy I believe that's been the philosophy I've asserted here since the beginning. Don't give arbitrarily, don't hate arbitrarily, but hate and give. Like that, those are both okay. Don't say things arbitrarily, but say things, bad or good, mean or nice. It's fine, so long as the intent is to fulfill the purpose. But don't do it without, for example, if you hate, don't hate arbitrarily. If you hate somebody, hate them for doing something that obstructs what you believe needs to happen, not for being something that they can't change. Right? You should never hate a person for the difference in the color of their skin, because that doesn't affect or impact anything in terms of how it affects people or yourself. But if a person comes out and they are bad to people, they are harmful to people, and I mean physically harmful, or then it's okay to hate that, and even them doing that through extension, it's perfectly okay. But then your actions also must not be beyond what is reasonable. Oh well, this person is doing this. They're yelling profanities at these people for no reason. Okay, then close your ears to it or open your mouth against it, but don't go out and hurt them, physically hit them, or I think so, because I'm having something that I can probably offer you all. Would you like some toast? Also, can we trust Retro now that I found out that he wrote Stranger Things Season 4 monologue that is partially about, that is partially about spiders? I love spiders. I don't know about that monologue, but I do love spiders. I hope it's about spiders. Spiders are our little wiggly 8-legged friends. They're really cute. We love jumping spiders. That's our favorite kind. But we do love spiders here. Everybody has an aversion to the little creepy crawlies. It's 8 legs. I can't trust that. Okay. Well, they're more honest in a lot of ways. Well, who was it that said? I have to remember. I'm trying to think of who it was that pushed the philosophy of humanity as the most atrocious species. But basically, what was said was, humanity is the most atrocious species because they are an animal who sins as any other animal would, and yet has the wherewithal to try and cover it up with rationale, quote unquote rationale. Retro, loving spiders is the only reason we're still not. Most people fear spiders. They detest them, and yet I found them endlessly fascinating. More than that, I found a great comfort in them, a kinship. Like me, they are solitary creatures and deeply misunderstood. They are gods of our world, the most important of all predators. They immobilize and feed on the weak, bringing balance and order to an unstable ecosystem, but the human world was disrupting this harmony. You see, humans are a unique type of pest, multiplying and poisoning our world, all while enforcing a structure of their own, a deeply unnatural structure. Where others saw order, I saw a straitjacket, a cruel, oppressive world dictated by made-up rules, seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, even life a faded lesser copy of the one before. Wake up, eat, work, sleep, reproduce, and die. Everyone is just waiting for it all to be over, while all performing in a silly, terrible play, day after day. But I could not do that. I could not close my mind and join in the madness. I could not. pretend. And I realized I didn't have to. Whew. What a brilliant monologue. What a brilliant monologue. I don't know the person that says it, but I agree with parts of it. A lot of it, honestly. I really like that. I can deal with any animal or insect in a calm manner. I will fight off anyone and anything to defend my home and the people I love. But spiders, they terrify me. I love spiders. I do. I really do. I love spiders. I love, snakes and spiders and birds, and yeah. It's the villain of the show. Oh my goodness. So let's do a fun question for a minute, because I was philosophizing about something that I feel is worth thinking upon and deeply. And again, I'm positing it to the gallery of thought because I could be wrong. I'm not trying to push blame on the people that I'm having to deal with, because I don't yet know if I am even right or in the right ballpark. I believe something and I would like to push it to people who would be comfortable saying, you know what, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm okay with that. Again, this is why I do the gallery of thought every week, is if somebody comes in with an alternative opinion, I want to say, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from. And I can either disagree or agree, or perhaps I don't have an opinion then because I haven't thought deeply enough or hadn't thought or considered that. Who was talking to 11 about that? Oh, okay. I haven't seen that show at all, so I know very, very little about it. But yeah, I'm curious if you're familiar. I'm assuming Stranger Things has familiarized a lot of people with D&D because there is a crossover there. What alignment would you each classify yourselves and potentially us? Right now there are 3 people here, right? It's myself, there's Ash, there's Viddy. What alignment do you believe you are, and would you say maybe we are? I have an opinion on mine, and I believe mine is for... I say it, and I think that a lot of people will look and go, maybe, I could see it, that kind of thing. But I think I can explain perhaps a little bit more eloquently why I have come up with that. So for people who don't know or who knew, D&D has an alignment system. Most role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games and have something called an alignment system. It's actually quite popular. It's a really fun way to just kind of overly simplify lifetimes full of things, of actions, of thoughts, of philosophy. The rule is that it's effectively a 3x3. The rubric is a 3x3. In the 3 categories of law or order, you have lawful, neutral, and chaotic. One who follows the rules, one who doesn't care, kind of just does what is there, and then you have chaotic, one who doesn't at all adhere to anything really resembling structure. On the alignment side of things, or on the moral side of things, so you have on the logical side, now you have on the moral side, you have good, you have neutral, you have evil. You have those who try to do things that would be traditionally considered good, altruistic, and so on and so forth. Philanthropic. And then you would have neutral, those again who don't care, and then you have evil, which of course is to be considered that which most would turn away and say, no, that's not right. And each of those categories have one. So lawful good, you have lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good. Lawful, neutral, true neutral, which is neutral basically, but it's called true neutral, and chaotic neutral. And then the same thing with evil: lawful evil, neutral evil, chaotic evil. So what did you say, mate? My bad. I had half a headset off while talking to the woman. No worries. I hope she's doing well. I hope, and please do, if she can't hear me or hasn't heard, please do let her know that I said hi and that I hope she's doing very well. I was asking what alignment of the D&D style alignments, and I'm trying to keep it nice and simple, would you say you are, and would you perhaps prescribe as mine or Viddy's. Viddy, same situation. What would you say you are? What would you say Ash is? Would you say? Again, it's an oversimplification, certainly. We are fluid in these things most of the time because they're talking about moral and lawful. But I really am just curious, if you were to say more consistently one than the other, which one do you believe you fall into? And likewise, by having spoken with us and now having done this for over half of a decade, going on 6 years now, what do you think? I like the idea of being chaotic for the fun aspect of it and being crazy, but in reality, I would be true neutral. I think that's fair too. I mean, you could be. Can I be metal case neutral? I mean, I do love D&D. I have a great friend, and thank you again if you do ever hear this, Duncan, for having invited and helped get me into D&D so many years ago now. It's been 20 years ago. Oof. Yeah, I guess we're getting close. Well, I guess we're getting close. 16 years ago, I guess. 16 years ago? Yeah, golly. That's crazy. I was just looking at the chart and a description of one of them confuses me. Lawful neutral. It says, F. Viddy would be lawful good or whatever it is. Not that. Are you saying not that the F or not that you would be lawful good? I'm unsure on you. Maybe neutral in some way. Following the rules is essential. The designers made it that way for a reason. What do you mean designers made it? I like that, Viddy. You know what, though? You do seem like that. I don't think any of us are evil. Depends on if I'm hungry. Not that I actually typed it. Typed in an R. Okay. Oh, that's to say. No worries. Lawful neutral is basically, my understanding of lawful neutral is it's basically somebody who wants to follow the law as it's posted, but when it comes to something that isn't structured and isn't overt in its structure, that they're fairly ambivalent to the moral implication of it. So it's like if you walked into a town where the rule was if you see someone stealing, kill them, you would be just as comfortable following that law as you would walking into a town that says please report them to the appropriate authorities. That's kind of what lawful neutral is. You know, I'll follow any of the rules. I don't really care all that much about the implications of it. It was an F, not an R, mostly because the enter key has a mind of its own. I would... No, you're fine. What would I be? I meant... what would I be? Yeah, no, you're fine. In fact, my enter key is chaotic evil. Now I know that that's probably true. So Ash, I actually would have said you were chaotic neutral. That would have been... true neutral is not a far off from my estimate. I would absolutely have said you were... chaotic neutral. You're probably lawful neutral. See, so you and I are also on the right path. I would have said you are neutral good. But again, this is all just fun, right? I'm not trying to sit there and say, oh, you're absolutely this or that. I mean, if you feel that's the way. Lawful neutral is probably, I mean, and you know yourself also when you're not in the streams far better than I do. But I can see you. I think that you try to do what is best, and I think if there were a rule that said that there was something that you would think, if there was a rule that dictated you do something that you believed to be bad, you would break that rule to do what you believe to be right. And that's just an assessment. I could be wrong. I like chaotic neutral. That sounds cool. That's what I would have put you at. You are, I think, in terms of quote unquote traditional morality, I think you are appropriately neutral to it. I think it's like, but I do think you're willing to do whatever you feel like needs to be done, and rules to the fire. Doesn't matter. You've got to do what you got to do to take care of whatever is important to you, whenever it's important to you. Even though I still don't understand the designers made it that way for a reason. I mean, you have to talk about the kind of interesting thing about the books is these guys wrote these books knowing that they were only guide rails. It's not the same as a spine, right? Where it's essential that you have one in order to function. It's more like a pinky toe, right? It's easier if you've got it, but you can function just fine if you kind of just have the other 4 toes going for you. I get my pick of the women and the food, right? Yeah. Wait, what? You know, it would be really fun at some point in time. I don't know how interested or how feasible this would be. It would be really fun to do tabletops. We have Roll20. We've done D&D. We actually, Ivy and I play D&D. We used to do D&D all the time. The buddy of mine that I was talking about here, he's a big D&D guy. I'm wondering at some point we thought about doing it. We thought about recording the D&D sessions. I've been the DM of these previous ones, which I'm very okay with. So I've wondered if maybe it would be worth recording the D&D sessions and maybe making a D&D channel where people can kind of see what's going on. So I mean, I would open myself to critique and people going, "Oh, that's not how you do that." But I think it's all about the story and the fun, and it's the spirit of it. So, Then again, when it comes to real life, is it purely about the law? As in, we don't do anything illegal. We don't do anything illegal. Follow the systems, what the systems do, etc. Then again, considering the Stranger Things monologue, the guy seemed to hate the systems based on humans disrupting spiders, come up with the abstract human concepts such as time, etc. And he seems to be a melancholic nihilist, which is perfectly fair too. For me, I would call... I've never played D&D, though who knows, maybe you all can properly... I mean, if you'd be interested, certainly. I'd play it. My character would be Big Willie the Wise, an Englishman, of course, with a catchphrase, "Stay handsome, stay hung." I love that catchphrase. I would say it after every single thing I did. Can you imagine that? "I've just stolen from your tavern, and you can do nothing about it. Remember, stay handsome, stay hung." And then you just swing out of the window. I would say, if I were going to choose my own, misanthropic, not melancholic. That's okay. Sorry, misanthropic. So he's a nihilistic misanthrope. Fair enough. That makes sense. Melancholic, though, is also appropriate. When you start, I think melancholy is kind of a prerequisite to true nihilism. You kind of have to start to lose that faith and mourn the loss of that which you believe to be structural for you to start to become so numb you just don't care. But I don't necessarily think it's absolute. I just think that it's a general requisite. Swing out of the window is a good choice of words there. I knew when I said that, I was like, dang it, that's good. I mean, yeah, that's right. That's fair. The closest I played to D&D are the following video games: Bits of Planescape Torment and Disco Elysium. Planescape Torment's good. Baldur's Gate, if you've not played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, I heavily recommend it. It's a great introduction to the basic rule sets of the newest or the newer, the basic rule sets of the newer D&D games. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is a masterpiece. I would argue that all of them have been really good, but by a long shot, 3 is just far and above. Larian absolutely did a phenomenal job on it, and I heavily recommend it. We have it on Xbox. I will get it on GOG when it goes on sale, if it ever goes on sale, and that would be my preferred way to play it, because I do believe this is one of the few games that lend itself more readily to mouse and keyboard. I keep wanting to play Baldur's Gate 3, but I know it's not my thing. I might give it... It's really fun, but it is definitely very technical. It's not difficult. It does a great job in acclimating you on how it all works and getting you situated. Story-wise, fantastic. Character-wise, wonderful. Voice-wise, I mean, the actors did such a great job. It's really, really well done. So, it's worth a shot. If you can get it for a good price, or if you already have it, I would recommend it. Is Knights of the Old Republic a bit like D&D, at least in the combat? It's very much like D&D. As a matter of fact, it is based entirely off of D&D rule sets. The only difference is that Knights of the Old Republic decided that they were going to hide some of the mechanics. So when you, for example, when you're doing this is my action, I'm going to swing and hit this person, What actually is happening in the D&D tabletop is you're rolling die to see whether or not your attack outstrips their defense. And it can be a little longer-winded. Most people, I mean, when you're doing it, there's a flow, and it's got a good flow to it. But KOTOR hides all of that behind the scene of you either did or didn't damage them, basically. As far as the stats go, it's the same thing. You notice you have a modifier. The modifier goes up to plus 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many points you have in the stat. So yeah, it's absolutely D&D. It's 100% D&D. I don't know why I find it so intriguing, considering I'm not big on the setting. I'll try it sometime in 2026. That's fine. That's fine. It's really good. I mean, they do a good job of kind of making a mishmash of fantasy and modernity. And I'm talking about modernity in terms of being appropriately colloquial, I think. Yeah, it's really good. And they had, what's his name? Neil Newbon, the guy that played, I guess, he played Heisenberg in Resident Evil 8, plays a character called Astarion in Baldur's Gate, and that character's great. Neil Newbon is becoming a favorite of mine in the voice acting world. His voices are Heisenberg and Astarion sound nothing like each other. Neil Newbon's voice is just Astarion, basically. But I love the fact that I just love his characters. Heisenberg was easily my favorite character of Resident Evil 8. And then, of course, I love Astarion. So Astarion may not be my favorite. I really like Gale. And I really like Minthara. I really like those two. But good old KOTOR. Where's 3? I don't know that we're gonna get 3, honestly. I wish we would. You and I talked a little bit. I'm super excited about Drew Karpyshyn coming back for Exodus, though. And maybe that will inspire, maybe his involvement and hopefully success of that will inspire them to go ahead and bring him back and then make a KOTOR. Well, considering some of the philosophical reading I do, D&D and alignments are very fitting, so I should probably play more video games like that in the next year. Yeah, I mean, whatever captures your interest. I want to always make sure, if you're playing games, don't ever feel same thing with reading books, same thing with listening. Don't ever feel like you're pressured by a public opinion. You know, I don't want to sit there and go, oh, you have to read this. How have you not read this yet? This seems like this would be right up your alley. I might say that, hey, this seems like this would be right up your alley. I think you might enjoy it, but let yourself enjoy it. Like, there's no expectation. Well, after I complete Metroid Prime 4, there's no doubt it's high quality. Oh, yeah, it's well done for sure. If you're enjoying Metroid Prime 4, for sure. Though Socrates Jones, the free game for next weekend, only takes a few hours to complete, apparently. That's all right. Still be fun. I love the fact that they're like, Socrates Jones. I'm trying to think of if that's a play on Indiana Jones or Socrates. I was taking a look at my bookshelf. I have the dialogue. I've been reading the dialogues of Socrates again by Plato, ironically. Why don't those devs make KOTOR 3? I don't know, honestly. Star Wars is willing to do everything but what the fans want, it seems. I mean, they've definitely done things that fans enjoy. Ahsoka was good. The Mandalorian's been really fun. Andor's been fantastic. But then on the other side, you do get the Acolyte. You do get the sequel trilogy. You know, you do get. So it's like, just listen to your fans, guys. You don't have to make I'm not saying let yourselves be stopped from making what you're passionate about, but just, also share that passion with your fans too. Exodus has so much potential. I agree. They keep mentioning Mass Effect 1 and KOTOR when discussing. I love that. I want to play the Mass Effect games again. I've actually been listening to Mass Effect playthroughs again, and I remember playing that obsessively. I got it when it launched in 2007. I have the Steelbook version. I have the collector's edition of all three of them. And I played Mass Effect 1 Collector's Edition being the hardest one to come by for me, but I played those games obsessively, and I really, really, really like them. So I really want to play them again. I also have the the new I was gifted the new trilogy, the but I really want to play those. Inspirations and featuring many people who worked on both. Oh yeah, gotcha. Oh hey Thumb Bros, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I've never played Metroid Prime 4, but I give it a 7.1 out of 10. I see you work for IGN now. Well, welcome in. Never played it, but I'll give it this score. I hope you can make the Socrates Jones streamed retro. We cannot have a philosophy game without you. I'm hoping to. I've got it on my since you set the placeholder for it, I have it on my remind me. So I'm going to try very hard to be there. Hi Ash, Ophidian Retro Room. Thumb, I posed a question to the rest of the gallery, and you've come in just after, but I'd love to pose it to you too if you're interested in participating. We had this conversation, just kind of it would spiral from D&D, and I said, in accordance with the alignment systems of D&D, obviously an oversimplification of the multivariate equation that is a single human life, but what do you believe your alignment to be between the lawful neutral chaotic and good neutral evil? And likewise, what might you think us to be? Thumb must have looked up that NPC in MP4 named Miles and went, yep, that's a 7.1 out of 10. I'll be honest, Miles is kind of not that bad, but a few strange progression issues have occurred since my last Discord post. Thankfully, I'm in a level now. Okay, good. I can't stand that Miles guy. It's about to get real nerdy in here. Seriously, yeah. He's like a Borderlands character. Yeah, the claptrap style character. Having not played Borderlands, are their characters not that great? They've got characters that I like a lot, and they've got characters that I couldn't care. Like I think Handsome Jack's a cool character. I can't remember the name of the guy that drives the bus at the beginning, the Vault Hunter, at the very beginning of the first one, but I liked him a lot. The characters you play as I like. I think a lot of people don't like Claptrap. I don't mind him. But then there are also very frustrating and annoying bandits, and I'm not a huge fan of the brother-sister team from 3, you know. So it's like, eh. Thumb, what? Yeah, that's what I was asking, yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 is a disappointing entry in a beloved franchise. From the poor performance to the broken gameplay, just doesn't deliver. 4 out of 10. Also, I haven't played it yet. Yeah, it's an IGN thing. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I read somewhere, what's the consensus for Dr. House? He's chaotic neutral? Yeah, that's probably fair. Chaotic neutral is probably fair. It's just the writing videos for your Borderlands question, that is it. I see. Let me ask Chat GPT. Thumb is using AI. Oh, the humanity. No, it's okay. You can use GPT. You're so kind coming back with that too video. I do appreciate how kind of a person you are, even in text format. I really enjoy that. I'll say this: Borderlands, at its best, isn't because of its writing. No, it's definitely because of the raw gameplay and the guns and the looting. And that's okay. It's just because of all of, or at least for me it is. It's just stellar gameplay can outstrip bad story for me. Borderlands 2 is an all-time great time. Yeah, Borderlands 2 is good. Borderlands 2 is fun. 3 was really fun too. There are characters like, I don't care all that much about them. And AI could have corrected them to Thumb. It could. I do wonder if I'm too kind or if my kindness does or can get taken advantage of. Yes. Any kindness, I'm not going to say you specifically because I don't know, but I will let you know that kindness oftentimes will get taken advantage of. Just because I think... I'm not going to say... You say you do seem too kind. You seem very kind. I will say that. I'm not going to say too kind because I don't believe that I can make that assessment. I can have an opinion on only what I experience with you. I can't have an opinion of things that you do when you're gone and I don't know of you. because I don't know them, so it would be inappropriate for me to have an opinion. I think you're very kind, and I do know that, at least in my history, kindness is often taken advantage of because it's mistook for weakness. And I think that people believe if they see weakness, people will, whether it's a belief or whether it's just a reaction, will take advantage when they feel like it is appropriate, when it's in their best interests. I hope that you never feel that I've done that here. I rather enjoy your kindness. I think it's a very refreshing thing to see on an internet which I believe to be 98% people that we shouldn't even associate with. Not shouldn't as in you can't, shouldn't as in it's not good for you most of the time. That's not intended to be as a backhanded compliment either. And that's a fair opinion if it's, Miles gets compared more so the Marvel characters than Borderlands. Oh, okay. That's a good comparison too, especially the MCU. The problem with that style of writing is it's written for and from people who can't stand a serious moment or a quiet moment or dead air. They can't deal with it. They need some dumb line. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we need to be able to slow down. I've said this already, and it was one of the conversations I had was it was so frustrating because they were like, well, we have targets we have to hit, and I'm sitting there going, I'm not saying don't hit targets. I'm just saying slow down and be more intentional about how we approach them. Yeah, but we have it doesn't matter. Slow down. The world goes too fast. The last thing I want to do is be 98 and go, I missed all of that because I was going 300 miles a minute. Slow down. I think the reason Miles may not have bothered me as much is because I probably do the action before he goes all annoying tutorial on me. Oh, I mean, that's probably it. I think so. And protecting him from enemies seemed a bit easy, not that I mind, as long as he doesn't die and reset the checkpoint several times. That seems like an entire game of escort mission, though, right? And escort mission for most people is either the least or second to least favorite type of mission that you get. Fetch quest, I think fetch quest and escort are the most unliked. And I think that's one. While Thumb is thinking on his, I would say Miles would be fine if he was in out. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think for my alignment, I would consider if I base myself on how I exist within the present day and humanity and their present state. I would say I am lawful evil. I think that would be what I would say. Would you like to turn Miles off in settings? Yeah. Last night, I almost lost an NPC in the level I'm currently in MP4, in Metroid Prime 4. Thankfully, they didn't die, otherwise, dang checkpoint reset. Yeah, see, that seems so tedious. I'm not in any hurry for Metroid Prime 4. I mean, I'd be excited to play it, but at the same time, I'm perfectly okay waiting. I know it probably won't go down in price, but that's alright. Retro is evil, the simple part of my brain. That's all right. Yeah, I would agree. I would argue that I am lawful evil. Possibly even neutral evil, but lawful evil certainly. And I'm not saying that I am evil. I'm not saying that I'm, because when you think about it, and again, if you think about it over, you're evil. So you're telling me you would hide the Mars bars when I need some? Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I just out of reach. Just no, of course not. Nothing like that. That's. I think that when we're talking about evil, if we want to go beyond good and evil, to quote Nietzsche's, let's see. I'm looking at Google image for lawful evil. It says, You're looking at Google image for lawful evil. Following the rules is essential. When I kill PCs, it has to be. There you go. Yeah, that's great. That's a great. Oh man, that's a good summary. That's a good summary. That's exactly right. So, if we want to go beyond good and evil in to borrow Nietzsche's book, or the title of one of his books, I will do what I believe is right, regardless of whether society believes it's right. But I have to have a reason, a fair reason, a well thought out reason for doing it, even if it's against what the world thinks is good or right. And the problem with that is you do have the appeal to the masses fallacy here, right? This appeal to, but it does work. If society says it's right, is it really right? Well, maybe, maybe not. But if I assert the opposite, what evidence do you have besides the fact that other people disagree with me that I'm wrong? And so for me, I would say I'm lawful evil. I'm okay doing things that are traditionally considered bad if I can articulate why I'm doing them and for what fair reason. Take into consideration, we'll do one of the simpler ones. We're in this chat now, and one of the things that I do in this arena is speak without censorship, and that means don't censor your ideas. You can talk about uncomfortable topics. I'm not encouraging people to come in and spam racist words and language and things like that, but you can come in and we can talk about highly contentious, topics that have become taboo. Oh, you shouldn't talk. You don't get to have an opinion on that. You shouldn't talk about this. You don't. I don't care. I get to come in here and do this because this is what is fair. But according to the world, not really. I just posted the image in our Discord. We'll take a peek at that then. Let's see. Maybe I got a notification. Let's see. Retro would be one of those villains where you understand their point. I would hope to be. I mean, hold on. Let's see. I don't see where you put it. Viddy. Yeah, that's the kind of idea. Like thinking about Thanos, for example. It's on general in the retro room. Did I just miss it? I did. I just missed it. I'm sorry. Yeah, following the rules is essential. When I kill PC, it has to be. It has to be fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's that. I would argue that's a great description. And then yours was lawful. What did I say yours was? I think yours was neutral good. So yours is I mostly follow the rules, but sometimes I'll bend them for a good reason. What's important is that everyone is having fun. And let's see what the description for you. Following the rules is tedious and gets in my way of fun. Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah, I think that's what I thought you would be. And then when I think Viddy's, like I said, Viddy says, I mostly follow the rules, but sometimes I'll bend them for a good reason. What's important is that everyone's having fun. Like, I think that sounds a lot like, and Viddy, you might disagree. I think that sounds a lot like you to me, though. Neutral good. And then you get my lawful evil down there. And then you saw lawful, following the rules is essential. The designers made it this way for a reason, yeah. That fits Dr. House too. Yeah. I mean, I suppose it could. The thing that I'm looking at, and again, the reason I'm looking at is to talk about certain topics or to have opinions on certain topics or to and especially if you're having an opinion on a topic of about a group of people that you're not currently a part of. I am kind of the everyone is having fun part. You are, and it's a good thing. It's not, or it is a good thing. I mean, it's an endearing trait. If I can't think of any better words than to say it's an endearing trait and that it's a good thing. I know I sound a little like Martha Stewart, but that is the truth of it. For me, the idea is that sometimes things, a lot of times, not even sometimes now, a lot of times things that people believe to be bad are the things that we need to do. So I don't have to follow the laws as they are everywhere else, but I have to have a code that I follow to make sure that what I'm doing makes sense. That's, you know, I have a set of rules that I follow, even if it doesn't align with the set of rules that other people have set out. You know, if you wanted to, and I'll give you I'm not saying you should do this, but, you know, if there is a starving person stealing from a multi-billion-dollar corporation food, I'm going to be like, yeah, I get it. A man must have a code, The Wire. Yeah, I mean, that's a really, I agree with that, but there are other people that would not agree with that. Again, I'm saying that it's okay to come in here and talk about things that are uncomfortable for people. We can talk about anything. We can talk about politics. We can talk about religion. We can talk about the state of the human race. We can philosophize about good and evil. We can talk about all kinds of things that we have, you know, problems or take issue with or that we enjoy. And it doesn't matter whether or not people find it comfortable or people say, oh, you can have an opinion. You can't have an opinion. We've talked about a lot of this. We've talked about a lot of that stuff. And it's uncomfortable. Oh, well, you know, you shouldn't have it. For example, and I'm not opening the can of worms for that, but like, if somebody says, you know, you can't have an opinion about abortion because you're a guy, I say, well, that's not true. I can't have an opinion about certain elements or aspects of it, certainly, because I don't have the ability to experience them. So certainly there, you got me. But the topic as a whole isn't completely, the male species isn't entirely disaffected by it. So I think it's appropriate for them to opine wherein they have some level of I think it's appropriate for them to have some opinion wherein they are affected. You know, that's a highly contentious topic. That's considered a bad thing for a guy to talk about that kind of stuff, but I believe it's appropriate. I'm not saying in this particular session, but I'm saying in general to have an opinion like that. Or for a person that is, you know, for a Caucasian person to have an opinion on reparations in the United States of America specifically. Or, you know, there are all kinds of these different things where they're saying certain groups aren't allowed to have opinions. And obviously, I don't have an opinion about everything. I don't have the expertise to have an opinion about everything. But if I don't fall inside of a specific class or a specific qualifier to have an opinion based on societal norms, I will still have the opinion if it is necessary. Or I will still act in whatever I believe to be the best interests of myself or whomever else. And, you know, so I just have to have a good, solid reason, a good, solid code for doing it. And that code is ABACAB. Is ABACAB. That's what it is. You got it. Man has to have a code. Might as well be that one. There's an interesting abortion debate seen in House, least of all with that same female patient in House that I posted. The code is actually the Konami code. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of... Again, I'm not saying that there aren't a lot of nuances, and I'm not saying that there aren't people who have deeper opinions because they've been through it. And I'm not saying that there aren't people who shouldn't have opinions more than others because they're more affected by it. I'm saying that a person that may be not disaffected by it, who is affected differently, should have the right to have an opinion. Right? A potential mother should have the ability to have an opinion and act upon that, but so should then a potential father who's going through their partner, spouse, whatever, having that opinion also. It's not, if both parties are involved, then there has to be some level of equality. in my opinion. My opinion, if I gave my personal opinion on that topic, I think I'd be and I don't mind doing it, but if I gave my personal opinion on that particular topic, I think a lot of people would consider me very evil. And I'm okay with that, because I have a reason that all of those things, I have a rule set that says this is why. It's not me just sitting there going, well, I want to get after people and make them upset. It's me saying, I thought this through, you know. I've sometimes seen people who treat their opinion or other people's opinion as fact. Exactly, and that's a problem. That's a problem. My opinion, even if it's well realized, perfectly well articulated, unless it is objectively provable, or at least provable in almost all circumstances, it is not a fact. Doesn't matter how well I articulate it. Assume for the sake of argument that I tell you that I speak about something that is against the interests of or against gravity. Well, then now all of a sudden you have me operating under that assumption, and you operate under the assumption that what I've said is fact, despite the fact that there's evidence to the contrary. You might find yourself dead of deceleration trauma more rapidly than you would if you had treated my opinion as opinion. Fact of the matter, the illustration that I'm making this is that there are evidences out there that are always going to be more compelling in an opposite direction. Expose yourself to as many of these as frequently as you can, and the odds of you developing an opinion that is closer to what is true is high. I think the likelihood is much, much higher. One person even replied to a constructive opinion someone had by saying lies are not opinions. That's possible. I mean, if a lie is a direct mistruth, if it's an intentional mistruth, it's very probable that it isn't an opinion. It's an intentional counterfact, an intentional deception. Remember, the opposite of fact isn't necessarily opinion. The opposite of fact can also be counterfact or anti-fact, either a fact that goes in direct contrast to or a lack of fact, the absence of fact being asserted. An opinion is kind of, I think, the gray area between those things. I have a more valid opinion, so I speak about... Hold on. I have a more valid opinion, so to speak, about England and the experience of living here than you guys. Doesn't mean you both can't have an opinion about the country. That's fair. Exactly. That's a great analogy, too. I couldn't match your opinion. I can't sit there and say living in England is the most wonderful thing ever, because I've never lived in England. But I can have an opinion on England based upon what I have exposure to through the news and the politics and so on and so forth. And I have an opinion. It's a soft opinion. And if Ash came to me and said, well, I don't like it, I'd look at him and say, well, I'll defer to you in these cases because, but I would hope that he would pay me the courtesy of saying, this is why. And we have a good discussion if that's something that he wanted to discuss or we wanted to discuss, of course. Do I have an opinion about the opinion of having opinions? Probably so. Then again, I did sing that I have a feeling, a bit of an inkling. The fact of the matter is, this is all lies. You don't believe me? That's just false. I'm telling you the truth. I wouldn't lie. Believe Viddy. Appeal to, what is that? Appeal to, what would that be? Appeal to authority or appeal to emotion, depending on how we held Viddy, in what regard we held Viddy. In fact, here's a fact, let alone a point of view. Thumb hasn't revealed his alignment yet, even from GPT. He hasn't. He may have gotten busy. He may have had to step out and take care of something, so no worries. I mean, I'd love to hear it if he comes back in, but if he's not, then, I hope he has a good day. Yeah, I think, I was going to say, I think therefore I am. I also have a copy. This is a cool thing, real cool thing, side note. I have really nice copies. We went to, some of the resting and relaxing that we got to do is Ivy's birthday was the day before Thanksgiving last week. And we went and we went to celebrate her birthday. We really wanted to celebrate her birthday. We went out to a really nice, very large aquarium zoo. Just really, really neat. So much fun. We went out to check out an old oddity shop, and then we went back, drove 2 or 3 hours back to another area, which was another 2 or 3 hours away from where we live. And we went to another oddity shop there. And at that oddity shop, they had a purse that was shaped like a frog. Very well made purse that was shaped and painted like a frog. And I got that for her birthday, and she really seems to like it. I hope she does, at least. And for free, I say for free, it was free, but as a part of the deal, let's put it that way. I was able to get these 2 books. They gave us such a discount on it that the books were part of the deal. And Retro Streams, therefore he is Descartes. I was going to say that. I think, therefore I am. That was why I got onto this, because the books that I got was a nice... these are both hardcover. They're the cloth-bound hardcovers. Really, really pretty books. The blue one is the blue one is the book The Dialogues of Socrates by Plato, which is really, really good. I've read this before. I had a softcover copy around here somewhere. This is a much, much, much nicer copy. And then secondly, I picked up this nice pink one, also cloth-bound, beautiful book, and it was René Descartes. It was Meditations on First Philosophy and Other Metaphysical Writings by René Descartes. And so I picked both of those up, and I really... You said, I think, therefore I am. I said, I think. I was pausing. Didn't say, but therefore I am, because I grabbed the books. I have these beautiful copies now of The Dialogues of Socrates and Meditations on First Philosophy. So I thought that was really cool. That's what reminded me of when it was Descartes. That's why I had Descartes there. So I was like, yeah. I like that retro guy. Like Star Wars a bit much, but I would rather live with those nerdy Americans than the Germans. Winston I'd rather live with those nerdy Americans than the Germans. Winston Churchill. Chomping on a cigar and drinking way too much. If you ever get a chance, you want to see something fun. You want to see something fun that is with some historical significance involving Winston Churchill. Take a look at, I can't remember what the channel is called, but it's a group of people that they deal with alcoholic beverages. And apparently I think it's called We Matched Winston Churchill for Drink, because apparently Winston Churchill ran on alcohol, ran on ethanol, basically. And these 2 guys whose entire job is to deal with alcohol couldn't really, it was hard for them to keep pace, let's say that. I heavily recommend watching that. Retro actually met Descartes in 2004. Wait, got this time machine wrong. I was going to say, yeah, Descartes has been gone for a minute. I was around then, but I don't think he was. Nerdy Americans be saying, it is about to get real nerdy in here. Retro is better at doing an impression of Churchill than Dr. House. The reason is vocal... okay, we'll talk. I guess we'll talk for just a second about voice impressions. With voice impressions, or with in general, if you're trying to replicate, specifically, we'll say Dr. House, there's a thing in Dr. House's voice, which is the entirety of his voice, which is called vocal fry. I have a little bit of it, but it's usually at the end of my sentences, or the beginning in some cases. Hugh Laurie as House, the entirety of his voice is vocal fry. Vocal fry naturally occurs in a low voice. But in House, somehow, he has it when he speaks in a higher voice. And I have tried to replicate that, and I cannot get it down. I've tried and tried and tried. And I cannot get that down. Churchill, there was no vocal fry. It's just it's basically like acting as if you're a human bulldog and then saying, I am having to speak through these jowls. As in Laurie and Fry. Good on you for that one. I like a bit of Fry and Laurie makes any day happy. I really loved a bit of Fry. Blackadder and a bit of Fry and Laurie. I really was a fan. I very much like them. The famous philosopher Rates created the legendary sport of football. One day he decided to change its name, to soccer. Hence, Socrates. Fun fact. Socrates. Socrates. I got it. That's pretty funny. A fun fact. Is that a point? Yeah, it is a point of view. I guess so. Yeah. He's still never done an impression of me, and I'm insulted. It's very difficult, and it's been a while since I've heard your voice also. So now I doubt it would even be... Now I doubt it would be even worse, because I haven't heard you speak in some time. And remember, a memory is always just the remembering of the last memory you had of that memory. It's not the actual memory of the thing that happened in most cases. It's the remembrance of the last memory you had of trying to remember the initial thing. But what about those who call it football? Football rates? Or rates? I'm not sure. But I'm going to move over. I'll move over to the game because I don't want to take too terribly much time away. Since I haven't gotten to spend terribly much time with Ivy, I would very much like to play the game and have fun here, and then to be reasonable in that and get to spend some of that time with her too. Pity that typo. Oh, I'm sorry. Mind you, us Aussies have a football called AFL, but it's not soccer. That was an unfortunate typo, good sir. I'm sorry. I said it as Aussies, though. I know what you meant. Oh, you corrected it. Hey, Fighting Max, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I have been away. My deepest apologies. Things have changed, and so because of those changes, they have caused delay. And then we have decided to celebrate our holiday, and I hope people are okay with that. The reason no, that's not true, Ash. It's because I haven't heard your voice in some time, and it wasn't going to be easy any which way. Yep, that type. It's all right. I mean, I knew what you meant. It's just yeah, I knew what you meant. No problem. Fighting Max, real quick before I do switch over to the game. It was quick. Doing well today. Nice to have a break this month. I am, provided everything goes well, and I am still where I am. Occupationally speaking, I am hoping to take the next couple of weeks off. If I am not this week or the next, I think the week starts the week following. But if I am not, then I will take the rest of the time from the time that I'm not until the time that I am newly employed. So either which way, I'll have a break, I hope. It's worse than the adult humor of Banjo, because it's kind of in line with it, honestly. Been coming back. I know I got to see some of it. Sadly, I hadn't caught it live, but I did get to see some of it yesterday. Your stream had concluded, but I got to watch some of it. You'll hear my voice soon enough, my friends. Actually, that sounded like a threat. But that's not soon enough. I think that was exactly the... One of the questions we asked, Fighting Max, just as a fun note. Oh, I guess, by the way, for anybody, let me go ahead and make sure to say that. For anybody who does see this after the fact, I hope this sounds good. As I said at the very beginning, I am doing this on a different microphone. I normally use a Neumann TLM 103, and it works really well, but I can't see around it very easily. It's a fairly robust microphone. I am using a shotgun microphone. It's a competitor clone to the Sennheiser MKH 416, and I hope it sounds okay. It's much easier to see around. But if anybody should happen to take a peek in here after the fact, and we do seem to have a good amount of people, good few people that come in and see these after the fact, please do take a look at the links down in my description where you might find channels alternative to me. So if what I'm doing isn't your cup of tea, you can find great streamers, gamers, online personalities, and otherwise down there, such as Fighting Max, Viddy's gaming videos, Viddy plays, and Ash, the channel that I assume will be switched out for another one because I think you had made mention of that, but I don't have the link yet. So in the interim, I assume that might be a decent way to have an idea of when about the new stuff starts. But Ash, if you do decide you want to share a new link, then please do let me know and I'll happily put it down there. I've got a feeling, a bit of an inkling that microphone sounds good. Good. Okay, well, I appreciate that. I hope it does sound all right. It's, like I said, a shotgun mic is, specifically Sennheiser MKH, I think the Game Grumps use that, and I thought, well, I was gifted a mic, and I thought, why not? So, that's all right. If you want to give me a link to it, I'll happily put it down there, but if you don't, that's okay, too. That theme song foreshadowed Splatoon, you know, the Inklings. Oh, yeah, I guess it did. But also Inkling has been around for a minute. Fighting Max, quick question. We asked everybody else in here, and I volunteered mine also. Of the D&D alignments, lawful, neutral, good, and good, neutral, evil, what do you think you are? What would you put what category? Obviously, it's an oversimplification, but what is, if you were to say, of these 9 boxes, I fall into one more than the other, what box do you think you would put yourself in? No, it's not. It's not very long. I meant that, again, colloquially. I think I've only been alive for a minute anyways. It's a very short time to be alive. Yeah, and I don't know if you know the alignment chart, but Viddy did share a kind of nice summary guide of them in the general chat on Retro Room. So if you want a quick glimpse at them to make, and again, I get it, it's an oversimplification, so obviously we all move among the different classes multiple times. We all gave ours, what we thought of each other's and what we thought of our own, and then but I think it'd be fun. A minute in Earth terms equates to years, I guess. It is weird how time dilation works, especially when we're talking about... So you have to consider, when we're talking about minutes and we're talking about how we have time, we've measured time based upon things that don't exist the same way in literally any other planet, any other place. At least as far as we know. We know that, for example, Mars, it would be the days would be longer, right? We know that a day would be longer in Mars. We know that a day would be way longer in Pluto. Year would be way longer, you know? So it's like, yeah. I always find my characters leaning towards chaotic good. I think it's a nice way to still have good intentions, but less restrictions on how you complete your goals. It could be a parallel to me. If I said I was lawful good, I'd be lying. That's fair. That's fair. I think we thought... I think what we kind of had thought about is... I think Ash is in that chaotic column with you. Nobody can be 100. Well, I don't think lawful good is 100% good. I think lawful good is strictly somebody who attempts mostly to abide by all rules and all things that are societally imposed as good. But I understand your meaning there. You did. I think we determined perhaps that Ash falls into the neutral category. I think he said maybe true neutral. I thought maybe chaotic neutral. I think Ash has said he might agree, so that's kind of nice. And I haven't gotten to speak with the man as many times as I have in all these many years, and as much as I enjoy our conversations, I think both of those are a pretty good fit. I do think chaotic is how I would envision him personally, but if he disagrees, obviously that's his opinion to... I mean, he would know better than I would. And then I think we said, Viddy, what did we say for you? I think we said, you said neutral good? No, you said lawful neutral. And I, no, hold on. I can't remember which way around we did that. Which way around did we do that, Viddy? I have to look now. I have to remember which ones were said. I think we said, yeah, I think you said lawful neutral, following the rules is essential, and I think I thought neutral good. So, neutral good, okay. Probably also, it could be, I mean, it could be, very much. What alignments do Mario and Link fall under? Probably also chaotic good. Yeah. Let's think. I think Link is different than Mario. I think... I think Mario for sure. I think chaotic good. I think that in the guideline that I like the guideline again that Viddy sent. The rules are more like guidelines, and getting caught up in the minutiae slows down the game. So it's, you know, I'll stomp on the Goomba's head. I'm doing it to save the princess. I don't need to worry about where the Goombas go afterwards. But I think maybe Link is a little closer to that neutral good. I think he might be a little closer to that neutral good. They murder a lot of things in the Zelda series, break a lot of stuff, but still save the day. Maybe Link would be chaotic or true neutral. Oh, that's fair. True neutral's maybe. That true neutral's a good one. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about you're right about the breaking of the pots. The killing, I don't think necessarily. I don't know if because I think lawful good says I can kill people, but I think I would. I mean, I would have to be able to prove that they're a bad person. But maybe not. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that too. What do you mean? It reminds me of Fable. If anyone's not played the game Fable, it reminds me of Fable where you go to that guy's farm and he asks you to look after his boxes, and the kid tells you, well, if you break open the boxes, there's cool stuff in it, and it's, you know, you have the choice to break open the boxes or just sit there and watch him while the kid taunts you. I said mine is lawful evil. Excuse me. Not the characters I play, but the person I am. I think is lawful evil. Link purely kills monsters, but doesn't really any human. Yeah, that's fair. I definitely think so. Mario and Link can't prove that Peach and Zelda are truly good. They save them in at least part for personal gain. Well, remember that to save somebody, you don't have to. There's no burden of proof to save. There's no burden of proof that the person that you're saving has to be good for the saving itself to be good. Because sometimes there's objective utility in saving someone who isn't necessarily all that good. And as far as we can tell from Mario Odyssey, that's a good question. As far as we can tell from Mario Odyssey, though, Mario didn't get anything really. I mean, he saved Peach, but he didn't gain her affections any more than Bowser did. And that's after having done it for 40 years, basically. Zelda, there is proof that Zelda is, at least in their world, by their rules, there is proof that Zelda is good, though, because her part of the Triforce, I believe, and I have to remember where that's established, but I believe her part of the Triforce is contingent on her being good to have it. But I could be wrong. I want to say that was established in Wand of Gamelon, maybe? It's been a minute, so I could be completely wrong on that. But I think it's established in Wand of Gamelon. For her to have the thing that she had, her part of the Triforce, it requires a pure soul. Whereas the Triforce part of strength it doesn't require good or bad. It just requires the will to do it. Again, I could be wrong. Yeah, I was gonna say Link's doesn't require it, and I don't think. But I thought, for whatever reason, I thought hers, her part of the Triforce required a pure soul. I thought that was established in I thought it was the disembodied voice that had told her something like that, and when you play Wand of Gamelon. But I could be wrong. It's been a minute since I've played Wand of Gamelon, so. And that game may not even be canon anymore, for all I know. Probably it wasn't canon in the first place, honestly. It's one of the not very good games. Oh, it could be. Yeah, you might be right. Link to the Past may have had that. I have to go back and play those again. I'm not, you know. At least past established Triforce responded to the soul wishes. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, okay. Maybe, yeah, but I thought the disembodied voice said something like that in Gamelon, so maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I think I said to mine, I'm probably lawful evil. So we've got a chaotic good, we've got a lawful evil, we've got a neutral good, and we've got a chaotic neutral. This actually be a really dynamic, interesting, and it would really be an interesting dynamic for an actual session, to be fair. Ganondorf was introduced in Ocarina. Yeah, Ganondorf, Dragmire. Yeah, I know what you meant, or I know what you mean. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move us over. All right, we're gonna see what happens. I don't know exactly how well this is gonna go. Yeah, I was gonna say, every time we do that, I always think that we're looking up, but I always feel like we're laying down and we're supposed to get up. Please. I guess that's his pail of marshmallows or whatever the equivalent is. Then again, I do have limited experience in D&D, so in reality, I might actually have a different alignment. The chaotic good is, I think, really. I mean, it's possible. It was just kind of a fun thought. It was just, the intent was just to be kind of a fun thought. I mean, I'm sure there's no real right or wrong, because again, we're all a little of all of them at some points in time in our lives. The longer, in my opinion, the longer you live, the more likely you are to tick almost all 9 boxes in some category or in some part of your life. Okay, where are we going? Let's see. Just get out of the gravitational pull. Okay, that one is... That's the Addle Rock, Brittle Hollow. Okay, so let's go to Brittle Hollow firstly. I like chaotic neutral. You chose well, Retro. Well, thank you. It was just based on what I thought. I could have been very wrong, but it's just kind of what felt right. Okay. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to do that. Mild damage, nothing too terrible. What did I break? I have to see. What did I... Did I break one of the feet? Did I break the landing camera? The hull, maybe? Hold on. It said there's damage, but I don't see where. Then again, it's probably not Outer Wilds, probably a D&D campaign, probably with Zelda characters. The wizard wanted to be on screen instead for all super chats. What land? Oh, my goodness, you're right. Sorry. There we go. If retro or anyone... Here, hold on, wait a minute. Your gameplay isn't on things. Thank you, Ash. I apologize. Well, if retro or anyone here knows how to be a DM, we could probably play. I do know how to do that. Yeah, sorry about that. It's probably not Outer Wilds. It's probably D&D campaign. Probably Zelda characters. Wizard want to be on screen. Yeah. What landing character? The wizard doesn't have one. Your gameplay isn't on screen. Hello. I'm sorry. I was so wrapped up in trying to get the. I mean, hey, at least it's less. I was interested in. I guess my gameplay is. I've not practiced in some time. I haven't played in some time, so my gameplay is likely more embarrassing than the snafu of not. Gosh dang it! Of not having the gameplay on screen. The actual gameplay was likely more embarrassing. Okay, it was mild damage. There we go. Sorry about that. We still have... It's alright, Wizard. We still have a strong parasocial connection. Okay, so the idea is... That's Whitehole Station. But we can't do that until we go through the black hole. Okay. Something there. How do I get in there? Retro was secretly doing an Outer Wilds audiobook. That would be fun to do. That would be really fun to... I mean, Cyberpunk has an audiobook, and it's actually quite good. The book itself is really good, but the audiobook and the lady they've got narrating it is actually quite good. Okay, so let's flip that up. Oh, this is the top floor. Okay. There we are. I don't think we've read this, have we? Maybe not. Be welcomed in this place. Above you stands the Tower of Quantum Knowledge. If you are making your first pilgrimage to the Quantum Moon, ascend these stairs and obtain the last of the knowledge you need for your journey. Wait. What? Okay, so this is like Prey, where I can... changes the direction of the gravity. How do I get this back up on the wall, then? The crossroads. Had a bit of a feeling, an inkling that the Stranger Things monologue about spiders would provide the answers to complete Outer Worlds. The end. P.S. The appendices to the box are voiced by Dr. House. It's giving you so much trouble. I'm sorry. So how do we get that back up there? Because that's the only way. I can't cross that bridge. That's where my scout is, right there, though. So how do I get this back? How do I get that back there? Back on there? Because I'm gonna try, but if I walk, gravity changes. Yep, that's what I thought. And it looks like there's more bridges needed. I mean, I suppose if that could go into the middle, that'd be good, but I don't have a rewind time feature on this thing. Maybe. Okay. There's a lot to discover here, and I don't know if I'm even looking at the right things. Or going in the right direction. I mean, there's a lot to explore, which is great, but I also don't know. Unidentified signal nearby. Okay. That thing's a ways away, though. Coming closer. It looks like it's Whitehall Station that's coming up. Quantum fluctuations? It's like a Doctor Who title sequence. Now, that is real nerdy. That's alright, though. I mean, Outer Wilds Ventures. Huh. I gotta hurry. I can't reach whatever that is, so I've gotta hurry. Either find a place with trees, or... Okay, can I flip the switch on that? No, I don't. There's no way to go down from that. Let me flip this around and see if I can go down, because there's a little thing down here. I'm wondering, I think that's the one I came from, but I'm wondering if there's a way to... No, there isn't a way to flip it back up. Huh. Okay. I'm also running out of oxygen, so there's a good chance I'm gonna die. We'll see if I can get back to my ship on time. If I can get back to my ship on time, I might be able to make the Whitehall Station. We'll see if that... I don't know if that's gonna work, but we'll try. I've got maybe a minute of oxygen, though. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's very difficult when you have these gravity lifts. It's real difficult to figure out where the heck about you're supposed to be. This is where I'm trying to get into there. That feels like where I'm supposed to go. Oh, there's a minute of oxygen. So I was about a minute and 20 when I said that, I guess. But I don't know exactly, like knowing where I'm supposed to be. And I can't, that's too narrow for me to fly my ship down there. Hold on, let's do this. What does this say? Trees are moving. The trees in this grove wander about freely, the entire plant, roots and all. This is not normal even for this alien planet, and I never see them move. Is that even possible? If anyone else witnesses this disturbing behavior, I implore you, record your observations here. Either those trees are aberrant, or my brain must be. Plume is right, the trees do move. I confess I didn't notice until I read his notes. Alarmingly, it isn't only the trees. There is other matter in this area, such as that unusual shard of rock moving in the same eerie way. So they're all quantum superposition. The rock is unusual for another reason, too. It possesses color and texture I've never seen elsewhere on this planet. Hypothesis. The rock shard's presence is significant. We should study it. Could it be what is causing other nearby objects to also move about this area? So there's a crystal that is supposedly making everything. Beneath your feet lies the Tower of Quantum Knowledge. If you are preparing to make your first pilgrimage to the Quantum Moon, descend the steps to the entrance below. The knowledge held within will help you on your journey. You know, when you stream 7 days from now, it'll be 12 days until Christmas, and on the first day of Christmas, retro stream for me. Wait, this game has Samus scan visor from the Prime games? Very similar. Very similar, not quite the same. No cool armor. I'm in kind of like a ragtag. I'm in kind of a, not a ragtag, but a rickety spacesuit. It's very, everything is very DIY. So, okay, let me get back to my ship real quick. I could use my flashlight. Let's do that. I'm going to get back to my ship, refuel, and then I'm going to jump into the black hole and see if I can get back to Whitehole Station. Okay. And the surface integrity sucks because now we're getting bombarded again. So this is the crystal I think they're talking about. Which is, if you turn around... let's see where the tree. Okay, so let's see. This tree, if I turn around, should disappear. Right? So it's boom. Exactly. Same with this tree. It's there. And it's not. And this goes... What the heck is that? This goes back to the conversation that we had before about quantum superposition. When something cannot be proved to be, it must be proved only by what it is not. This tree is currently in front of me, therefore what it is in front of me. The minute I turn around, it is everywhere that I cannot see. So I turn around. Oh, this one's not vanishing. Maybe it's too far from the crystal. Okay, maybe that one's too far from the crystal, but the idea is basically quantum superposition being the definition of things by exclusion. So I cannot define what it is. I can simply define what it is not, and therefore that is the definition. And I don't know why I can't hear anything all of a sudden. Audio-wise. Let me see. I unplug my cable? And why does Vidi type in typos? Do typos exist? They do. and you have in this thing made a typo that was my favorite one, but it's all right. I get your meaning. Okay. All right, so we're back down here. Surface integrity is at 51%. It doesn't matter because at the center of it all is the black hole. And the black hole is necessary to getting into the Whitehole Station, so... This is probably going to kill me, but let's do it. Going into the black hole. Oh! I hit land. That was not intentional. I intended... I intended go into the... What does this say? This is the crossroads, right? Yeah. I intended going to the black hole and I hit that fall damage. Yeah, it's... I'm jumping... fall damage. I was intending to jump into the black hole. Because that's how I get to Whitehall Station. And see, there's now I know this has gravity. So all I have to do is open it up. I can breathe again. And then I gently do that. Now, we did this last time, right? We have... This needs to rotate. So we go down. The glass floor, and then we take this sphere and pop it into one side to make it rotate in a direction. Now it's rotating. Back up. Where did the... I can't remember where this projection stone went, though. Up. Okay. I think my ship is way too far away for me to do anything with. Charge. Step onto the warp receiver to activate return warp. Departure time, arrival time, 10:43 feet. So it literally is in... Oh, wow. It's literally... so the warp literally takes 1/10,000th of a second. That's impressive. Go ahead and refuel my jet. I need first aids when I need. I can't read where how far away my ship is, but it looks like it's out there by the Whitehall Station. So let's... back into the warp. Okay. I dropped this. Can I put this? I wonder. I now have that warp. I'm wondering if I know this is probably supposed to go inside where the warp is, but I'm looking to see if maybe... My ship's not that far away, actually. I should be able to travel. Since I just refueled. I mean, yeah, I did. I should be able to travel. Come on. It's very difficult to get there. There it is. Got it. Woof. Okay, I can patch myself up. I should be able to land on the Whitehall Station. That's what I'm going to try to do. Let's see. Can I land here on the snow cap? I don't think I'm meant to land here. I just think it might work. Okay. Yeah, it seems to have worked. So now we can go back in. Okay. Pikmin music? Yeah, very much. Okay. Surface integrity is not necessary. We're not there. So now we just come down to the floor here. Those will line up now. Oh no, I'm on the wrong side of it. Let's see. Get those to line up. Come on. Boom. I warp, and now I have this with me. But it sounded like the supernova happened, so that's probably gonna kill us if I yep. There's no outrunning a supernova. We know it's gonna happen though. Let me take I gotta do something real quick, so let me take a quick pause and I'll come right back. I just want to I gotta take care of something real quick, so 1 second. I think it's this. I gotta remember this button.
ターですか？あちらにございます。階段のすぐそばです。
すみません。もう一度ゆっくりお願いします。エレベーターはどちらでしょうか？
エレベーターですか？あちらにございます。階段のすぐそばです。
すみません。もう一度ゆっくりお願いします。エレベーターはどちらでしょうか？
There we go. Sorry about that. Ooh. Had to take care of some stuff. Let me move us back over. I make sure I hit the right button. Probably not, but I hit the right button. Oh, I haven't caught up. People talking about ukulele. Hey, Daiwi. Hopefully you're doing well. Whoops. More into speaker these days. Lives in Europe instead of Australia, where I am. All the good stuff of music. We just had our got taken out by the supernova, so it's kind of becoming a race against the clock. I'm going to do some more exploring on some other stuff too. Good, good. I'm so glad to hear it. Have this rousing conversation of music and musicians. Which I think is awesome. We had a whole conversation while you were gone. I'm sorry. I've been to a Christmas concert earlier today. How very neat is that? Make sure, did I get out of the orbit? I did. I kind of want to take a look again at Dark Bramble, so let's see. Did I go through that phantom planet again? By mistake? Divey said neutral good. Okay, very nice. Neutral good. Did you give him the rundown of everybody else's alignment? By chance? Let's see. Neutral good is a good... I mean, again, it's not a bad place to be. What did Retro say? Yeah, you're gonna give the whole rundown? Okay, alright. Chaotic neutral. Neutral good. Yeah. I think Max considers himself chaotic, good. If I'm not mistaken. Okay. It looks like this is the largest part of the land that may be easier to land on. Let's try just here. There we go. Decent landing, I think. All right. I feel like that crystal's going to have be some sort of important, but not just yet. I think you've got it down, Vidi. I think that's correct. Okay, so now here we are on Dark Bramble. We're here on the surface, rather. Okay. We also spoke of classes. Daiwi is or wants to be a ranger, me a bard. Oh, good. That's a good call. I think you would do. I think you would do very well as a. Yeah, I was going to say. I think you would do very. As considering the singing you've been doing today, I think you'd do very well as a bard. This is an unusual planet. I think we determined when last I was here that a giant angler, or that giant anglers rather exist here and would kill. But we're finding other things now. Trip 4, entry number. I'm going to say it, not 1. Crashes 3, boring crashes 0. A personal best. So good. Whoa! Never thought I'd see one of these beasties outside of Giant's Deep. They were awfully useful back there. Maybe a jellyfish could be useful here too. Maybe Giant's Deep is where those are. Ugh, this tastes terrible. This thing tastes terrible. The outside is all rubbery and tough. Maybe that's because it insulates the jellyfish's insides from getting zapped by electricity. Are you going to sing that theme song as well, Retro? You do sing, right? Not really. Class-wise, I am most assuredly not a bard. I can sing, not well. Right, I'm going inside of this jellyfish's interior cavity to see what's in there, if what's in there tastes any better. Well, that probably didn't go well. Can I take this rope? No. Lamp oil, rope, bombs. Okay. So he's been eating on, I guess, this thing. Okay. So that's all solid. Wait. I'm wondering if there should be, I would think there's an opening here somewhere. Random thought, speaking of bards, is Dandelion in The Witcher the Wilson to Geralt's Dr. House? Kind of. It's kind of, in the books, I mean, in terms of the partnership, yeah. They're very supportive of each other in those ways. In terms of the wit, Wilson and House are both very, very, very intelligent. Whereas Geralt is very philosophically inclined and very intelligent, but Dandelion is very... well, same thing with Watson and Holmes, right? Holmes is brilliant, but Watson is more seasoned, right? He's a veteran of the war in Afghanistan and all this other stuff. So you've got these two meetings of the minds. I would say that House and Wilson are closer to Watson and Holmes than they are to Geralt and Dandelion. I think Geralt and Dandelion are you have one of them is a deep thinker and a warrior, and the other one is kind of a scoundrel and a poet, but more self-serving, I think. So, it's not a bad analogy either which way, I wouldn't say. Let me do something real quick. I'm gonna see if I can loosen this so that I can turn it so that it's better facing me. There we go. All right, let's see. I have a little note with what looks to be a pickaxe. Can I read this? Note to Feldspar, do not eat this even if you are dying. It would be too sad if this were the last thing you ever ate in life. I guess these jellyfish are only useful for insulation from electricity. Again, do not eat, love, Feldspar. Okay, so these are good for insulation from being electrocuted. That wouldn't help with the supernova because that's mostly heat-related damage, but... Okay, so if I'm in one of these, I'm not likely to be shocked, I guess. Okay. And there's very little gravity around here. Less than half the gravity of a normal place. So... And I'm doing this knowing I'm very probably going to die. It's okay. We're going to risk it for the sake of... Okay, so there are anglers here. The red light's the one I'm interested in. So let's avoid the white one, the white lights. And I'm gonna aim for the red light, which seems to be probably the most dangerous, but may not be. Unless it's just a different angler. And then we have these little pods. So let's... Okay, so here's where things get real dangerous. I need to fly around, maybe? Going for the red one. Because I know the white ones are bad. I don't know the red one is bad yet. What is this? Eggs, maybe, of the anglers? I can't... I mean, this looks like a clutch. I'm about to die of oxygen deprivation, but this looks like a clutch of yet to be hatched. I'm suffocating. Alright, nothing I could do about that. I just wanted to see what was going to happen, so. Speaking of what I briefly mentioned, Stranger Things, would you like some Eggos? Forget the toast for a moment, it's Eggos. Fair enough. I was going to say, I don't know what class. In that case, I breathed completely out of sea. What class would I be? Probably either a wizard or a sorcerer, I suppose. That would be my thought. In the game, they're different. In the game, wizard is one who has books and recites from the books and has all the different tools and such. Sorcerers are a little bit more... They just have to make sure they have the materials, and then they kind of operate out of memory for the majority of it. Like I said, Dark Bramble doesn't really have anything that we're really needing. At least not at this point. It's kind of just there. Okay, I think we're out of the atmosphere now. Well out of the atmosphere. Okay. So Brittle Hollow seems to be the one. Let me get way out here in the middle of nowhere for a second. Let myself just kind of float. Take a peek at this. The vessel. Okay, so we did find this jellyfish. Feldspar, After tasting it, he concluded that they're only useful for insulation. Decided to venture it to see if it tasted any better. Okay, so we know that they're good for that. The Nomai decided to build a larger, more sophisticated eye signal locator on Brittle Hollow's south pole. There's a door to the observatory. Okay, so the Nomai decided... Sorry, the Nomai device created to pinpoint the source of distant signals. They were disappointed by their failure to detect a signal from something called the Eye of the Universe. The eye signal. There's more to discover here, but I think I have the ability to do it yet. Found everything there. I know my city between... So the Hanging City... I know there's more to discover there. Well, there's a wizard on your pre-stream chat. Or what did you call it? The room or something? Yeah, I mean... I think that's probably fair. Fireplace chat, cozy chat. I did an alignment test and I got neutral good. Alright, see, that's nice. That's really fun. Yeah, I believe myself to be lawful evil. At least according to the world. How the world around me would operate. Whitehall Station. There's more to explore in Whitehall Station. Use the tower, you must be standing on top. Okay, so then let's... There's more to explore in the Whitehall Station, so then let's do that. In order for us to do that, we do have to go to Brittle Hollow. Just there. I mean, I think it's good. It's, yeah, I would say I'm neutral evil. Don't want to land on the lava planet there. I think this is the right place. Wait, what's happening? What was that? I thought I had landed it pretty well. What happened? Is that just a game glitch or what? Anarchy. Oh no, I'm not. I'm lawful evil. Not anarchy. I have rules. I have rules and codes and all that good stuff. I'm okay with doing things that society might deem to be the wrong thing in service of a better good. That's what I'm trying to say. That was weird, though. I thought I landed that well. I didn't think I landed on anything. I mean, I'm here. Yeah, I didn't land on anything. The trees are quantum entangled, and one spawned into your ship's hitbox when you were... Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Well, it shouldn't be able to do that whenever when I'm flying the ship. It should wait until I'm out and turned away, because otherwise the ship is, at any given time, probably not. Gosh dang it. Alright. Is it the landing? What else is broken? Oh, there it is. Why can't I get the jetpack tip? Oh, I see. Thank goodness we don't actually have to worry about fuel. Come on. I mean, except for in the, there we go. How do I do this with... Yeah, there's the quantum tree then. Let's get rid of you real quick. You're not gonna go because you're stuck in my ship now, huh? That's a different tree than it was before, at least. There. Goodness. That landing was... He's right. It was the tree that... So when you... like we discovered a bit ago, the trees are quantum entangled. So when you look away from them, as a general rule, they change where they are. Notice how that one's... The big one that was just there is no longer there. Right? I turn away from this one. And it's closer now, because apparently it's a weeping angel more than it is a tree. Alright, let me go ahead and refuel from that nonsense. Wait, what's still screwed up? Hold on. Okay. I think that's... Did I not fix that booster on the right you said was messed up? Hold on. Front of the ship. Oh, no, I didn't. Thank you. Boom. There we go. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so now... Gotta figure out where the heck I am. Okay. We're back to the... We're back to this area. So let's... follow the stairs back down, and we're going to do the same thing we did before with the Whitehole Station, with intent for Whitehole Station. Except for we're going to try to do it without getting hurt. We're going to do it quickly, though. Boom. I love that thrum. I don't think that would actually exist, but there's something about it that seems right. Okay. Use the gravity of this. Come on. Okay. Now we can go ahead and open this up. Oxygen's back. Minimal fuel lost. Okay. Ground's down here. Beautiful. I don't guess it matters all that much where which direction this rotates. And then there's the table. No, don't move. And then there's the table with the stone on it, which is right here. Which should be an Outer Wilds Pikmin Doctor Who crossover. That'd be a stranger thing. Yes, indeed it would. Okay, and these are lined up so I get warped. Boom. It's still broken, so I don't know. I wish there were a switch up here to route that differently. I don't know if we've read this yet. Maybe we have already, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, we've read those. We haven't read this one. Maybe? Try it again. Rami and I reviewed the records you sent, Poke, and they appear to show Nomai are arriving at the warp receiver on Brittle Hollow slightly before departing the Whitehall station. As I've already told Rami, these measurements can't be accurate. How can a Nomai arrive on Brittle Hollow before he or she ever stepped into the teleporter? The implications are absurd. Poke, as Pi is confident the reading is inaccurate, she's kindly helping me attempt to recreate this phenomenon at the High Energy Lab. We're designing an experiment to take more data. An update, Poke. The High Energy Lab is in the canyon on the Amber Twins equator. Come here at once. You need to see this. Okay. So now we know we need to go to the Amber Twins equator. I don't disagree. It would mean I've inadvertently broken several fundamental theories regarding this universe. We would have to reconsider all of our beliefs about the nature of time. I guess I hope so too. The interval is incredibly minuscule, roughly 100,000ths of a second. Do you suppose our instruments can't accurately measure time to such a small degree? Okay, so basically it's 1/100th of a thousandth. It's 100,000th of a second that we warp. Technically, what happens if I put this over here? Does it do the same thing? No, it just kind of makes... It just kind of makes this like hologram. This is cool stuff. It is a cool... I mean, it's a cool thought. Time is obviously, again, it's relative to the measurements we're making of different areas. But we're basically 100,000th of a second. Whoops. So basically, that was 100th of a thousand. That was 100,000th of a second before I actually stepped into anything. Oh wait, hold on. So now what I need to do? Outside of the gravitational pull of the floor. Let's hop in here. Go ahead and move this around. I need to catch my ship if my ship is indeed out there. It is, but I don't think I can reach it in time. We'll try anyway. No, there's no way. I'm gonna need to go back and we'll use the warp and see if it's closer that way. I got a feeling, a bit of an inkling that I could stay here longer, but I've got to start getting ready for the day. Bye, Retro and Chat. We'll see you later, Mr. Vitti. It was a pleasure to have you in here. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi and philosophizing with us. Okay. Could not stop my absolute ridiculous momentum just there. I just got slammed right up against the side of the thing. Hold on, we'll try... We now know that we need to go and investigate more of the Ember Twin, though. So let's see. Okay, we know about that. Okay, so let's do that then. We'll go to the Ember Twin to take a peek at things. I think those are them there. Nope. I'm getting more and more comfortable with the flight, honestly, but do you have the DLC? I do. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. There we go. I'm a little at an angle. I'm not great on that. There we go. Yes, I do have the DLC though. This is the Archaeologist's edition. Okay, we've been there, so let's go. We've been kind of down in the depths. Let's explore the surface a smidge more. Okay, that looks like a reference to Whitehall Station. Let's see, what is this? This planet sometimes and only sometimes has a moon. This is also of note. It disappears if no one is watching it. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that a fascinating orbital characteristic? I found your note, Mallory. Kindly count me in among the moon's admirers. What is happening when it disappears? I doubt it ceases to exist. Does it move to another location? I believe so. Not only does the moon appear around Brittle Hollow, I can confirm it sometimes orbits Timber Hearth as well. This is my first time encountering a natural satellite with the ability to vanish when not being watched. We should study it, or even better, we should travel there. I agree, our first step would be determining a method to track this phantom moon so we can always know where it is. Given its reluctance to move while consciously observed, it might be a form of microscopic quantum mechanics. So microscopic. So they may have had this calculator. This calculator is likely meant to tell where the quantum moon is then. I would assume, and it's aligning with the planet, so that's Giant's Deep. Brittle Hollow, Dark Bramble. I want to assume this is the quantum moon, which is aligning with Brittle Hollow. And then when I turn away, perhaps that's what's happening. Now it's the moon at Giant's Deep. And if I turn away, I'm not sure if I have it. Yeah, now it's it. So I think this is that quantum moon. Or it's to track the quantum moon. That's interesting, if that's the case. The heck is that? Oh, it's okay. Okay. Wait, what? Hold on. Church research notes, property of Church. Clearly the Nomai were making astronomical observations here. They chose an excellent spot. What is this big rotating device for? What was it the Nomai were observing? I'd posit there's something special about the orange symbol on the device. HAL and the new astronaut's translator tool would be nice to have handy about now. So this was before the translator was built. Goes off. No, 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 no. I love the moon. I'll have to figure out how to land on it, but let's... Oops. Okay. Let's put this in there and see what this says. The quantum moon locator is functioning. We have markers for each of the places the moon goes. Anona, Burr, I just observed the quantum moon in orbit around Dark Bramble. I added a marker for Dark Bramble. You have keen eyes, my friend, so this moon travels to a total of 5 locations, not 4. I thought the locator now accounted for all of the Phantom Moon's locations, but sometimes the locator can't tell where the moon is. Perhaps it's a problem with the device. It's also possible there exists a 6th place in the star system to which the Phantom Moon travels. So, a 6th place. How many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... And I'm going to assume that this is 6. Nope. Dark Bramble's where it is now. I mean, not Dark Bramble, I'm sorry. That was Brittle Hollow. Interesting. 6 locations. Huh. Alright. I did light this campfire, so I do want to see. It has an option to doze off. I want to see what happens if I doze off. I can roast a marshmallow. Well, dang. Alright. It just turned to cinders. So it's on Giant's Deep now. So now the question becomes... Where's my ship? In order for me to get to the... I've already explored a lot of this, so... notice how the moon symbol has 6 dots around it. I saw that, but I couldn't see... It doesn't have the 6 planets. Like each individual planet. So there's a planet that's missing. Because it would have to be in orbit around a planet, otherwise it wouldn't be a moon, right? Time speeds up. Okay. Or you can doze off and pass time. So now the question is, where's my ship? Yeah, I've got, so my ship's here. So let's hop back up here real quick. We will go ahead and refuel, put things back up. Hop on, buckle up, and then let's see. Can we... I want to see if I can... Whoops. The moon is on Brittle Hollow. I want to see if I can... Hollow's lantern. Land here. It counted the... It counted the switch to landing cameras not looking at it. Which is a shame, because I technically would have been, but I guess it's even just that second. So basically, when you look at it, you really have to be looking. I gotta make sure I don't fall into the sun. But yeah, pretty much the weeping moon. Okay, so I can't just leave the solar system. Got it. So there are kind of two options. Option number one is land back on Ember Twin where that is to find it. And number two is zoom out so far that you can see all of the planets. And then the moon will have to be a consequence to those. Yeah, let myself come back here real quick. Okay. The Nomai named Solanum. Was told to visit the Tower of Quantum Knowledge on Brittle Hollow's equator to learn one final rule before embarking on a pilgrimage to the Quantum Moon. So so it seems like all of the, I mean, obviously these are all tied, but it seems like the Quantum Moon is kind of the tying thread for all of it. Okay, the negative time interval arriving to okay, so roughly 100,000th of a second. The Nomai were skeptical if their equipment could even measure time to such a small degree. Can only be accessed from its... okay. Still more to explore in the eye signal locator. So, hold on. I've tried to land on the Quantum Moon, but every time I had gotten close to it, originally, it had trouble. Vertically into 4 districts. I found a switch in the Meltwater district, so there's more to discover in the Hanging City. There's more to discover in the Eye Tool. The vessel's warp core broke when the ship landed in Dark Bramble. Okay. Okay, we're probably going to die to Supernova, but let's try, just for real quick. Giant's Deep. Let's go. We'll go to Brittle Hollow. We'll hope no. I mean, we can see how it's getting more and more red, so I'm probably in trouble in terms of time. But those seem to be my 2 best leads seem to be those. Okay. And then that's going to... Okay, we don't have a lot of surface area here, so let's... land here next to our former buddy. Okay, there we go. Grab my suit. Boom, open. There we go. And see if there's any enough integrity to this thing to, for me to still explore without just immediately going into the black hole. Not much. Let's see, hold on. That's gonna be tricky. I probably landed in the worst place for this. I couldn't make the jump. I'm gonna go straight for the black hole. Okay, well, back to Whitehole Station, I guess. I mean, we're gonna get killed by a supernova in time any which way. This is an integral part of the experience. I'm gonna die. I died. How goes the Outer Wilds? Goes okay. I think I'm going to I do think I'm going to have to call it, though, because I have been live here for about 3 hours and 3/4. Well, I get a little over 3.5. We'll say that instead. But we did find out quite a few things. We were able to find out... Oh, by the way, yeah, say hello there, Maki Sprites. I think I said that incorrectly, but I hope I didn't say it terribly. Yeah, we were able to find out... We were able to figure out the Whitehall Station teleports us 1/100th of a second. It teleports us across the galaxy in negative 1/100th of a second, which was really interesting. We were able to... It seems I have bad time. I've just been live for a minute, so I'm sorry. Boop. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We were live, did a gallery of thought for a minute. It's been 3 hours and 38 seconds or something. 3 hours, 38 minutes, 28 seconds, something like that. So, I'm going to, we were able to figure out that there was some stuff on the Ember Twin. We were able to figure out that there was something that tracked the quantum moon there. We were able to find out that the Whitehall Station actually teleports us not only across the galaxy, or across the solar system, excuse me, but also 1/100th of a second back in time. So we're technically 1/100th of a second younger when we arrived than we were when we left. Really, the only leads that we currently have, we were also able to find a clutch of eggs, what looked to be a clutch of eggs of the anglerfish in the midst of the dark bramble. There's a lot of cool stuff that we were able to find. And we were able to find that the quantum moon can be tracked, but we weren't able to actually land on the quantum moon. And I thought we had tried that multiple times in a previous episode where every time we ended up on the other side of the moon automatically disappeared. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do that. Our biggest leads. You're not younger, everything else is younger. So, okay. So it doesn't, so you still stay forward in time as it moves backwards. So you're technically, well, if that was true, if everything else is 1/100th of a second older, the teleportation would mean that we were technically 1/100th of a second older. If that's how long it takes to teleport, then that would mean that we were technically 2/100ths of a second. We were accelerating. I don't know why I said accelerating. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. Accelerating our age by 2/100th seconds, 1/100th of a second beyond what was already, I guess. Any which way. How dare Mr. Streamer not do another hour? It's all fine. Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, it's been we're 20 minutes shy of 4 hours. But I really do appreciate appreciate you guys being here and talking with me and helping me kind of figure this out. I've been fascinated by this game. I think what we found out that we have still to look at and where we still have more to explore is the eye tracker and the Brittle Hollows Hanging City. I think it's really nice. Last time I saw the Outer Wilds, it was just exploring planets. Didn't think it would get this complex. It's been really complex. It talks about quantum theory and quantum mechanics, but we're also talking about the theories of time dilations, relative time dilations, and all kinds of really neat stuff. It's really, really cool. You traveled back in time and thus got to live an extra 100th of a second compared to your surroundings. Yeah, well, yeah, I was going to say, traveling back in time, I traveled back in time where I was I guess I was older in that regard. I'm older as time progresses naturally for me, but if everything is 100th of a second prior to that, then I'm at a net positive 2/100ths of a second, I think is what I was getting at there, it's just a weird, but anyway, it's such a minuscule amount of time. But anyway, let me move us over. And give us some nice music. There we go. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I don't know if I may be off on it, but I was like, I'm a net plus 2/100th of a second more than I would. Technically, that's age acceleration by the most minuscule level, or most minuscules, one of the most minuscule levels. That's technically age acceleration. That's interesting. It's really weird. It's really cool. I love talking about all these different theories. I love the idea of quantum mechanics and the idea of quantum superpositions and the idea of the simplistic quantum superposition. But I also really love the idea of the time dilation, mostly in the inverse, right? The idea that gravity and heat are some of the major impacts on the physicality of age, and that we wouldn't measure a day the same way on Pluto as we would today because of the revolutions and rotations, time being different. Interstellar kind of touches on that a little bit. Interstellar kind of touches on time dilation, the time dilation theory. So, couple of things. I want to say huge thank you to everybody who popped in to say hi, talk with me during the Gallery of Thought, as well as to watch me play and to help me through that. Daiwi and Mikey Sprites, I really appreciate you for being here. I also appreciate Thumb, Viddy, and Ash for having stopped in and talked with me, and Fighting Max, who has been streaming more recently. If you get a chance, go take a look at his channel. It is linked in my description, as he's been playing more recently. I need to watch that movie. Apparently it had the most accurate black hole simulation that has ever been adapted for film. I have seen the movie and I think it looks really good, but I don't know, in accordance with, these super scientist minds, whether or not it's as accurate. I just take their word for it in that regard. But yeah, thank you very much. Another thing too, I hope that this has sounded good. As I said before, this is a different microphone. I am normally a user of the Neumann TLM 103. It's a kind of a chunky thing, so it's very difficult for me to see the chat when trying to look around it while trying to talk into it, and the way that it needs to hang. So I hope this one sounds okay. This is a nice little shotgun mic that I have that is supposed to be a competitor to the Sennheiser MKH416. So I hope it sounds really nice and clear and it's easy to listen to. Maybe it flatters my voice even just a little bit, and that would be nice. I've only seen clips, but yeah, I need to watch the full thing. It's really good. I remember watching it I believe I watched it with my brother when it first came to video. I had him over and we just both sat and watched it. It was pretty good. I need to watch it again. But thank you all for being here so much, for talking with me. Again, if you get a chance, might want to take a look. Viddy's got some streams planned, so it'd be worth taking a peek at his. As far as I can tell, you sound good. Okay, so long as it's good to your ears, that's what matters. They just followed physics and they got it right. Veritasium is a good video on that. Oh, okay, I need to take a look at that then. I need to take a look at the video. You sound great. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. I hope to find a microphone that flatters my voice. My actual voice is probably not so grand, so to have it flattered by a microphone is a nice kind of bonus. But yeah, I heavily recommend everybody getting a chance in the downtime to check out Viddy's show, where he's got a couple of things planned, what he calls his post-final video streams. And then, of course, Fighting Max again, who has been doing more streaming recently and has been live as late as today. I would recommend taking a look at that. He's a really cool guy, very easy to converse with, and plays some stuff that I never heard of, but he's inspired me to purchase different games that I have and will eventually play on this stream. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your weekend, and a wonderful start to a wonderful week. And stay curious. We'll see you next time.